All right, guys. We're here today once again. Super happy, pumped to have Maggie today here with us.
What's up, everybody? I'm happy to be here.
All right, guys. The topic today is gonna be the day-to-day of an athlete, despite of the age. Age is just a number,
Yes,
right,
sir.
Dr. D?
Yes, sir. How to live happier, healthier, and still be an athlete, even if you're, just a person on your day-to-day grind, your job, and so forth. How to be that athlete and be that number one person, still be a great dad, still be a great mom, still be a great professional, etc. And today we brought Maggie because she has been training the top athletes in the world, and we share clients, so mastermind here of how to increase your performance of the day-to-day and still seize the day at the end of the day.
Despite of age.
Despite of the
Despite of
age.
Despite of age. That's what's so cool. Guys, I see I've been working with Maggie for the last 3 years, at least.
At least three.
Yeah, at least 3 years, and my performance has got to the top. You guys know that, you know what I mean? And one of the most hard things there is actually for you to keep on performing good while you age.
Yeah.
And a lot of people out there, whenever they turn 30, they already feel like they're getting old.
Oh, an injury comes in and then just it stops them.
So the whole thing is to measure up in order to keep on doing so. Brought Maggie, a lot of people ask a lot of us about the performance and about how we train. That's the person right here. Maggie, welcome. Age is just
Thank you. It's an honor to be here next to both of you.
Yep.
I work obviously directly with you every day in and out of our house, as well as Doc was saying, we share more than a handful of clients. So the connection that we have, the three of us, is super united in a sense of making sure us as athletes and our athletes are at the best of their ability.
How do you take in when you take in an athlete, like
Yes.
a person, as soon as you take them in?
Yes.
What do you do? So run us through depending on who the person is,
Right.
high level athlete, somebody, hey, I have a purple belt, I haven't been training for 10 years, or
Mm-hmm.
what do you do? What's your approach? How do you pick?
So my slogan of Champion Fit is actually look like an athlete, perform like a champion. So I actually do the same exact workout with Cyborg that I do with the purple belt who hasn't trained in 10 years. And the reason I'm able to do that is the way that I structure the workouts in a sense of how long they are. And of course, I have to make adjustments for weight and people's mobility and everything like that. But I try to keep it all very similar to prove the method in a sense that it works. So for somebody who hasn't trained in a long time, obviously, they're probably not going to do as much weight or as many rounds. But everything that I do is athletic. And I think people have a misconception of what being an athlete is, right? When you see someone's athletic, you're like, what sport are they good at? An athlete should really be able to be good at almost anything because being an athlete is able to control stopping and starting and handling force and moving directions and doing all these things efficiently. It doesn't mean they play basketball efficiently.
Right.
They do the movements that basketball needs to be efficient.
You know what I say about that? For example, even with a lot of our clients, all the way from, older age group,
Mm-hmm.
there's a grandma fell and broke her hip kind of deal.
Right.
It's like, can you fall right?
Exactly.
An athletic person is like, they trip, it's like, woo, fine. They could get a little hurt, scraped. Now, a non-athletic person, they take a fall and it's like, yeah, brother, get up. It's like they're
Exactly. Yeah. So I think it's really, and that's why I say look like an athlete, because if you're doing my workouts, of course, you're going to get the body that you want, the toned, muscular look, but you're also just going to be efficient in moving through life.
Yes, efficient through moving life. Love it, love it, love it.
I really say to every one of the students there, why the drilling, all that in Jiu-Jitsu is so important? Because Jiu-Jitsu is nothing more than a bunch of moves put together. If you know how to move your body, then the only thing you need to do is actually to add the technique to it. The problem is most of people, they don't know how to move. They don't know how to coordinate their body, and that makes it difficult.
Right.
I know for a fact that a lot of the clients that Meg gets, just as much as we do, right, at a jiu-jitsu gym, are people that sometimes they can barely walk, right?
Yeah.
They don't have have done other sports before and so on. So it's really important for us to actually work on them on the athletic side as on the jiu-jitsu side, which goes hand to hand, because as long as we make our students getting to know their body and getting to know how to move, they're gonna be good at anything. You
Yeah.
know? And that translates to jiu-jitsu, that translates to life, that translates to whenever they're at home with their kids, they're not gonna be able to perform. And what's so cool about this is, look, there's us, right, professional athletes who, of course, since start working with her, the results went just like to the skies, right? Like me, Wagner Rocha just yesterday got, you know, promoted to number one
baby.
ranked
Congrats,
grappler
Wagner.
in the world, you know what I mean? And we have been working on that for such a long time
Yeah.
to put on the spot that he deserves. And myself and we have are one kind of athletes, you know, because we have been doing this for a long period of time. But then on the other side, we have regular students. Like we have a student of ours, which is your client as well, Michael Larkin, that he's a lawyer. He started training jiu-jitsu. He was 48 or 49, right? And then at 48 years old, he started training jiu-jitsu, has never done other sports before. Now at 52, he's a world champion at purple belt division.
Yeah, baby.
You know what I mean? Like
And
at 52
he does
years
the
old.
same workouts that Cyborg and Wagner do.
Wow.
That I do, that all of my athletes do. And a lot of times, you know, I post my workouts and people are like, oh, that's crazy. I could never do that. Why?
Yeah, no.
Because you're not training your body to be athletic. You're not training your body the way you're supposed to be able to jump on one leg.
Yeah.
You know, you're supposed to be able to squat your butt all the way to the floor.
Right.
You know, and people think it's crazy, but it's just because they've never applied themselves. It's just like anything else. You know,
Right.
I'm not going to be able to go build a bridge if I've never learned how.
Exactly.
It's the same as being an athlete.
So, question: how does your training look like? Because
Yeah.
you know, people watching us, does Maggie make them squat 5,000 pounds? Or but
That's a good comment.
yeah, no, because it's like you see these guys. It's like I'm sure they're throwing down walls, and I follow all your workouts and so forth, and I'm like, God, these are smart workouts. You know,
Yes.
it's not something. So how does that go? Isometric versus
Exactly. So everything that I try to do is create muscle endurance, right? Because like he was talking about drilling and doing this with jujitsu, like your jujitsu can get good, but how strong are your movements, right? And so everything I do is about making your muscles last because that's what we need. And most people, for years, they're used to, okay, let me see how heavy I can lift, even if it's one rep. When are you ever doing one rep of anything in life, like walking, jujitsu especially? You don't do one hip escape and you get out. You have to do multiple reps. So the way my workouts work is I have 3 different styles. We only do 3 different workouts. There's just a million different exercises. But because we're only doing 3 different styles, your body automatically is trained to do that workout regardless of what the exercise is.
Right.
And a lot of the times we're splitting it between being square on 2 feet and being on 1 leg. So not only, of course, are you going to be able to move better on 2 feet and 1 leg, you're also preventing the injuries as well. So we do lift as heavy as possible, but from those reps, we go right to box jumps. And then from the box jumps, we go right to a mobility exercise with a kettlebell. So you're still getting the strength, but rather than just tearing the muscles apart, you're making them last.
Another thing too that you probably see improvement, and I see this we see this in the blood here at the clinic. So all that cardiovascular work
Exactly.
as well, just HDL, for example, your good cholesterol increases with more cardiovascular. That's why you'll see the
Exactly.
guys that 2-3 pumps, wait 3 minutes, gossip a little bit, 2-3 pumps. And it's
Exactly.
like, hey, I work out. How does my cholesterol all messed up? How come I don't have good cholesterol? Well, we always say, hey, can you increase a little bit on the cardiovascular side? So there is also a huge difference in terms of training smart.
Of
right?
course. And it's about lasting. Age is just a number.
Right.
The only way you're going to be able to do this forever is if you're doing it smart. If you're putting 3 times your body weight on your body, well, first of all, I talk about this in jiu-jitsu a lot because we have weight classes,
Right.
right? So mine is 163. Why am I going to go lift 300 pounds?
True.
I don't need to do it. I'm not going to need to move a 300-pound girl. It's not going to happen. Or man, I'm not fighting men.
Right.
So being able to train smart also makes you last longer because, one, the injury prevention, like I was saying, when you're just lifting and putting all of that weight and tear on your joints and your muscles and your body and not letting it have time to recover because you're going from that and then to your actual sport, you're not going to be able to do it. And then age won't be just a number,
An injury. You're mentioning injury. This guy.
Man, for years, I used to do at least 1 surgery a year.
Yeah.
For real, just because for real, like every year I was injured. Every year I had some sort of some sort of injury going on. You know what I mean? Especially because again I'm an extremist. Everything I do, I love to do a lot. You know, and
know.
I started working out when I was 14 years old. So I always loved to lift, you know. And so one year or not, I always went there, trained jiu-jitsu super hard, and then I left jiu-jitsu and I went to the gym and I did the 1,600 pounds leg press. You know what I mean? And the next day I go back to jiu-jitsu. And then out of nowhere, something tears apart, pop, the muscles tear, you know what I mean? And for the last 3 years that I have been with her, I haven't had any injury. You know what I mean? And I train super hard. Yeah. And one thing that is super cool that, of course, we're talking about jiu-jitsu, and most of the athletes that trains with her are from jiu-jitsu, but we have Fernando Plants, which is your client as well now, right? And Fernando is the national champion of foot volley, which is something completely different than jiu-jitsu, right? He plays soccer with his feet. He plays a volley with his feet, right? And has to jump and all that. And he trains with all the jiu-jitsu guys. And he just won like the biggest tournament ever, weight and absolute, let's say, for people who know jiu-jitsu, on his sport. And he trains with jiu-jitsu guys. So it proves that the way Maggie trains her athletes are not only good for the sport, like we said before. It's not just about jiu-jitsu, it's about you moving your body correctly.
You being an athlete.
And
you
you
don't
being
have
an
to
athlete,
be a sport.
You know?
To be an athlete. And something off of that too, it's like a lot of people train their muscles to be strong, but again, going back to the lasting, right? The muscle memory of it. If you do the 3 reps and then you try to go to jiu-jitsu, your muscles aren't good. You might be strong, and the person who's killing you might be like, wow, you're really strong.
Right.
But you're not going to be able to last because you're not training your muscles to do that.
Yeah. I mean, I speak out of kind of Cyborg. You tell me this all the time, not to use so much strength, right?
Yes,
and
sir.
I was a gymnast, right? Cyborg challenged me not too long ago when we were eating. He's
The
like,
way he is with those tight pants that I make fun of him every day. With those tight pants, he pulled a back flip.
Who's are tighter? Who's are tighter?
With shoes, and he pulled a back flip
stretchy,
in the
so
gym.
that's good.
I was like, for real, it was impressive. I was impressed right
yeah, we were sitting down, and I told you, I'm like, out of nonchalant, I could do a backflip. He's like, no, you can't. No, you can't. And no warm up,
Nothing.
hard
Just
shoes.
right
I'm like,
there.
"Bah."
Boom.
But that's being athletic.
That's
That's
being
being
athletic.
athletic as hell, like coming out of my,
Might not be a gymnast anymore, but
that training though. And then after I
Exactly.
finished that, I was like lifting weights. And then all of a sudden I come to jiu-jitsu, and I haven't even told you guys this, but like, I've trained my style of lifting. I'm not trying to lift the, curls with 60s now. I'm trying to do more compound exercises, isometric, etc. I honestly, I just don't go do your classes just because like my schedule is like insane right now. But and not only that, I have brilliant clients, in the exercise physiology realm and so forth. And it's not, you see people starting to move towards this,
Exactly.
even in the bodybuilding industry,
Yep.
it got like ridiculous. Now they're going back. It seems like they're almost going back to the times of Arnold Schwarzenegger, a little bit more aesthetics, etc.
Well, I get that question all the time if I'm a physique competitor, a bodybuilder, and I'm like, no. And I don't do anything outside of our training to make my maybe cardio, but to make my body look a certain way. It's all from the training that we do.
Wow. Okay, so now tell me, for women, for example, that
Okay.
sometimes they get a little bit more specific. Oh, I
Right.
want a little bit more tush. I want
Right.
this or that. How do you cater to that?
For me, for my style of workouts, it's all about trusting the process. Because again, not only for jiu-jitsu are our hips the most important area, so is our core. So we train that every single day. So whenever I get a female client that's super specific, I'm like, you have to trust, you have to trust the process. And again, it helps looking the way I do, because I tell them, I'm like, this is what I do. I'm giving you my secrets. I'm giving you what I do to have the look that you want. And that's, again, where the slogan comes from: look like an athlete, perform like a champion, So it's really not necessarily you have to do the generic thing that everybody does with the donkey kicks and everything like that for the body to look specific. It's like, girls, don't be afraid. I wouldn't say lift weights, but to move weight. You know, because there's definitely a difference. And something that I'm really big on is isolating the glutes, because most of my guys don't know how to do that. And that's where knee injuries come from. Because when they're lifting heavy, they go to the biggest muscle group in our legs, which is our quads, and they forget about the glutes, but you don't lift with your quads. You know, you're supposed to lift with your glutes, you know? So that's also going to either prevent injury when you are able to isolate the glutes, or create injury if you can't isolate the glutes. So for my style of workout, it's all about trusting the process and just getting used to the workouts. And like I said, it's 3 different styles. So the more you do it, I tell people, I go, within 3 weeks, your body's going to start reacting naturally to what we're doing.
Wow. Yeah. General advice that you would say somebody watching at home, you know, far away, can't come to your classes, like how would you tell them to kind of?
I mean, definitely don't ever use time or anything like that as an excuse. And
Amen.
I talk about this with diet too, as I'm sure you do as well.
You got kicked in the face, dog. Right now you got kicked in the face, dog.
Okay, but he's in shape, so it's different. He's obviously finding the time other places, you know?
He's
But
red.
I mean,
Look, he changed his color.
My shirt, man, it's reflecting.
you know, and I talk about it with diet too. I feel like people know what to do.
Oh.
You know, they know what to do. You know, it's just about having the discipline to do it, you know? So you have to find what works for you. I can't, you know, I have a bunch of online clients, if anybody wants to do that, and they've had really great success. I've had jiu-jitsu competitors, non-jiu-jitsu competitors, and people win with it, you know, people change their bodies with it.
Dude, that's so awesome. You do online?
Yes.
That's so cool.
Yep.
Like the person that's training top professional. Okay, I didn't know about that part.
Yes.
You're crazy if you don't talk to her.
Yeah, like,
Yeah,
so
we're doing
there,
that and we're
okay,
doing-
truthfully, there's no excuse. I have online programs, so reach out to me.
And there's an online school that is about to come up.
Yeah.
Okay, Champion
Right
Fit.
now I have
I didn't know.
4
Wow.
different, I call them champ camps. I have 4 different 6-week programs. So you can start at level 1, and I have 2 clients that when they started level 1, they never stopped. So I'm creating new 6-week programs with these people.
Wow.
But if you start, you're set up.
Okay.
Start at 1, and there's 6 weeks. So, and the other thing, like I said, is it's easy to do at home, not at home, obviously in a gym, but it's easy to do by yourself because it's the 3 workouts over and over and over again, but with a million different exercises, so you can't get bored.
Right.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to sign up my mom. No lie. I'm no lie.
Let's go. Sign
I'm
up
not-
your mom.
So this goes for, you know, age is just a number. You know, my mom's like on her A game. I turned her back on. She's like, she's doing a lot of, I'm like, and I'm looking at you. I'm like thinking, my mom.
Yeah, no,
You know,
for
like,
sure.
I just think that everybody has the possibility of doing so. Everybody can get better as long as you take the excuse out of your front.
That's it.
You know, and that's what at the class today was like when, like talking to Wagner about it, I was like, man, 2 of the oldest guys right now in jiu-jitsu are ranked number 1 in the fucking world.
baby.
You know what I mean? It's so cool just because we took the excuse of I'm getting old to I have to accomplish this because I love doing this so much.
And it's a generation right now. And I don't know him personally, but shout out to Tom Brady, man, because he's pushing this industry,
That's
bro.
it. It is
43
true.
years old.
And killing it.
And killing it. So a lot of these guys like, hey, man, I can do this. Maybe I should stop partying it up and so forth, invest in my health.
Exactly.
And, you know, the longer you're on the field, the longer you're on the tatami, the longer that you're in your game, guess what? The more you're going to produce in all areas, not only financial and so forth. So health is wealth.
And something off of that, I know Wagner doesn't drink, and we drink maybe on a birthday.
I never drink.
But
I never-
maybe once. The last time we drank was our engagement.
Yeah.
Over a year ago, you know?
you go.
So it's like if you want to party, you might not get the results
Hey,
you
but
want.
we all still party. We're all
Yeah,
fun people.
no,
We
for
go
sure.
out,
We have a good
But it's one of those things with
People
you
ask
know,
me all the
using
time if I'm drunk.
excuse.
but you know that they're saying, like, a lot of people say, like, man, if I could have the experience I have today when I was younger, I would do so much differently. Guess what? You can
can't,
still
yeah.
do it. You know, I have the
You can't
experience
change
of
that.
years of jiu-jitsu, and I make my body be in a condition to still fight. And this is so cool. You know what I mean? Because there's a lot of people out there that I don't know if they lose the spark inside of them or what the excuse is.
too hard.
You know what I mean? But yeah, or it's too hard or I don't know what it is. But whenever people like, what keeps you motivated? It's my love for the sport. I love what I do. I would much rather be
And
competing,
feeling good,
pushing
just
myself
feeling
and
good,
feeling
yeah.
good and having a healthy lifestyle than to be killing myself.
Let me say a strong point here for everybody, especially on the mental health and et cetera.
Yeah.
One of the most important things, and no joke here, is that you have self-confidence. Without self-confidence and love for yourself,
Yeah.
you get nowhere.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's why lots of times we're looking for significance in with other people. Or we do something that we want significance real fast. One example: violence. You want to be significant? Put a gun to somebody's head. They're going to pay attention to you real quick. You're going to get a response real quick. And lots of times we're looking for that significance. We're looking, and if we're able to build our confidence,
Yeah.
okay, you'll see your life starts to change. You start to change, and it's essential that you work on yourself. There's no way that you'll build your confidence if you don't work on yourself. I know these two people very well. They work on themselves, on their relationship,
Being
and
selfish,
everything.
you won't be happy anywhere in life unless you're selfish first.
Yes, help yourself and then reach a hand and help somebody else. So
Yeah.
confidence is part of the, is everything. And then working out, fit lifestyle, etc., and pushing that game. That's why we call this age is just a number. Push that
Yeah.
game as far as you can, and you'll see how all of a sudden your confidence and everything reflecting in your life, around your life, will start to change, right? So, closing thoughts, suggestions, comments to the world out there. You better sign up.
You better sign up.
That's all I gotta
There's
say.
no excuse because
My
you can
mom's
do
coming.
it anywhere you are. His
mom's
mom
coming.
does
My
it.
mama
So there's no excuse. No, just I think society plays a really big role in our influences, and especially these days. We always say the world has gotten soft and stuff like that. And
The Nutella generation.
I made a post about the whole love your body thing recently, but it's like you were talking about with confidence. Really know what you want. Don't accept what you have. Know what you want. And don't let anyone or anything stop you from getting that, because that's where the confidence will come from. And then literally the rest of your life, hard things will seem so small and it'll be way easier to progress. So
100%.
yeah, don't accept what you have, go get what you want. Go get what you want.
Self-love.
Yeah.
There you go.
Self-love.
Self-love.
If you don't love yourself, if you don't believe yourself, don't expect others to do so. It has to
Amen.
start from you.
Yeah.
It has to start from you. Guys, amazing.
Thank
Love
you
it.
guys for having me. I appreciate
for
it.
coming.
Of
Maggie,
course.
thank you.
There we go.
Hey.
Age is just
Thank
a
you
number.
guys.
Age just a
Age is
number.
just a number.
Os-